Hello everybody and welcome to tutorial number 9. And in this tutorial what we're going to do is I told you that the Conan sound level, I was going to study that a little more and figure that out, and I did. And Funcom did something kind of weird and strange. They made it where it doesn't stream. So I think this is what's going to fix our problem where we're using the little barrels to kind of stretch our bounds box. So I did, like I said, I did a little bit more studying to figure out what was going on and how they had set that up, and kind of took a little deep dive to try to understand what was going on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to kind of do the exact same thing. So let's go ahead and kick that off, and then what we're going to do after we get that fixed, we're going to go ahead and copy the paper doll level over. I believe we have to have that as well, and we'll put that into our folder. And I believe that is set up too where it is not streamed also, but it's something to do with the character creation. And so I want to go ahead and just put that in there just in case we might need that. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to do for us, but it does have the characters in like a green screen. So that might be part of the video thing that for the cinematic for the original game. We may or may not need that. But we'll go ahead and we'll put it in there anyways just to have it, and then if we need to reference it later, we have it there already. So all right, let's go ahead and I'll transfer over to my display. Okay, all right, we got my display up. So we're going to go to our content folder up here. We're going to take and go ahead and take the go to the Conan sandbox folder. We're going to look for the paper doll map. And what we're going to do is we're just going to drag it down to our mod folder, and we're just going to say, hey, copy here. Do not move it, just say copy here. All right, so now we should have it. If we go to our mod folder, it should be in there. Okay, so we have a copy, and if you open it up, and we can hit save, and it's going to close our persistent. But let's just open it up and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Is inside this level, and like I said, I believe it's for the cinematic, possibly. I'm not sure quite aware of what's going on with it. But oops, slow my camera down. But as you notice, there is a green cube, there's a camera, there is a sound file. So, and then the character, you can tell that one of the character creations looks like they're standing there. So I'm not quite sure exactly what that's for, but I believe it could be for part of the character creation. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have that to reference it. So it's there. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go back to our mod folder, and let's go ahead and open up our persistent level. And all right, so now we're here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Windows, we're going to go to Levels, and we are going to go to our World Composition. And what we're going to do next is we're going to create another streaming level, and we're going to call this No Stream, No Stream, not Steam, no Stream Distance. Okay, and we're going to uncheck the streaming thing here, and we're going to hit create. Now what that should do is technically it should give us streaming distance disabled. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go to our back to our 75K stream levels, and we should see our Conan sandbox, or not sandbox, sorry, our sound level. And I'm trying to find my sound level, and for some reason, oh, there we go. Sorry, under uncategorized. So now what we need to do is go ahead and take the paper doll level that I told you to copy over, and we need to go ahead and assign the layer and just make sure it's there. Let me see. Oh, we got to open it first, sorry. The streaming stuff is a lot of technical, you got to remember. So, okay, so then we open it, and then we're going to go to assign the layer, and we're going to go to no stream distance. Okay. And then we're going to open up our sound file, or our sound level, sorry, and we're going to assign that no stream distance as well. Okay, and then save those two. And what that should do, and I don't know why I got NPC Camps 1B. Let me go ahead and open that up. I forgot to assign that a layer, and we're going to assign that to 10K. All right, so if you need to do that, go ahead and fix your uncategorized. So under uncategorized, under world composition, you should see any levels that are not assigned to streaming distance. Our 75Ks currently are all of our main levels. Our NPC camps, they are assigned the 10Ks. And then our no streaming distance should be the paper doll and the sound. Now what I want to do quickly though is look at that paper doll. That's kind of in the center of the world. So let's see if we travel our camera. I don't think they're going to show up there, but who knows. I just went ahead and kind of copied what they did. And also I noticed that Hades, his custom map package that he has all set up, where he has most of this all set up, he has that level in there too. So I figure we might just want to keep it in there just in case. We might need that, but I don't see anything. I don't see the green screen or anything like that. But usually the green screen is on 0, so it might be up in this corner. This is where the character creation takes place in Conan, and I'm wondering if it might be up in this corner. So I just want to take a quick look and see if it's set up over here somewhere, and we might see that camera, green screen, and all that, but I don't think we will. It's just kind of strange. I'm not sure. Like I said, I think it's mostly for cinematic, and that could be what it is. I don't see it over here, and so we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll hit and we'll save our level. Okay. All right, so we got that taken care of. Now, on the last video in number 8, our tutorial number 8, we were working with water. Windows levels. And what I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to my composition, go back to our 75K so I can see our persistence, or sorry, our main levels. And I'm going to go ahead and save the persistent, and then I'm going to go levels, select all levels. I'm going to go ahead and load this up and take a look at our world. And we were working on water physics, the water mesh, and all that. So hopefully you were able to get your post-process, your water physics. You got all that nice and lined up, and it's working correctly. And I double-checked mine, made sure, and so far I think it looks pretty good. And I'll go ahead and show that to you guys. And so you should have something kind of looking like this once we get this loaded. But I want to go ahead and load up my map real quick and get an overall view. All right, we're at 7 minutes. All right, good. All right, so far so good. Covered that quickly and got those things out of the way. And like I said, that paper doll level, not sure exactly, but you know, if we figure it out later on, or if we need to refer to it, we have it. It's just in the folder there. We'll kind of keep it there, just kind of hanging out, and assign it accordingly. And also what we'll do quickly too is we'll take a look at our sound level once I get these opened up, because I should have done that. We'll take a look at that and see if we remove the barrels, whether our sound volume should be now stretched out. There should be no bounding box problem. I think it all should work out. So we'll go ahead and load these up real quick, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of hide them and then look for our sound level and make sure that's actually functioning correctly. So we'll double check that. That way we have no other issues, just in case I broke the sound. You never know with the dev kit and with Unreal Engine, it can be kind of funny. So, all right, so this was our starting area, and let me kind of move my camera over here, and let's go ahead and check the water first. Like I said, we'll check the water, and I'll show you. So hopefully, by the time you get yours all set up, what you're hoping to get is when you hit play and you're swimming, your character hopefully the water should not be above their head. The physics volume's looking correct. The body's floating in the water approximately the right depth and everything. And yeah, that way you have your immersion. It looks good. There's no issues with it. And also what we'll have to do is we'll have to set up the water caustics, where you get the sunlight kind of reflecting through the waves on the bottom. If you've ever been in a pool or in the ocean with the with like a dive mask on, you see the reflection of the sun kind of dripping through the sand. We need to make sure that's all set up and working properly too. So right now that currently is not set up, and we'll have to do that maybe hopefully in this tutorial. We'll get to that. Okay, so your character, we should have automatic splash, because why? We copied over the mesh from Conan Sandbox. So hopefully your character's chin is kind of bobbing up and down just like this. That's the approximate level, so you swim side to side. And then if you swim forward, your body should be about like that in the depth. And as you bring your camera down, we should see underwater. We shouldn't see any white light like this. You can barely see it. I just got just right. so if you're moving quickly with your camera, you don't notice it, but if you're really trying to look for it, you can kind of just see that. We're trying to avoid that as much as possible, but it's really hard to get. But I got it set up for the most part. But that's what you kind of want, is have that option. And then also, we'll quickly dive down. We want to make sure that our physics goes all the way to the bottom. If you recall in the last video, I went to the bottom, I fell out of the physics, and I was walking across the bottom of the ocean like nobody's business. But I got it all down there now, so I can swim to the bottom. And I can maneuver around. So everything's looking good. Alright, so we'll swim back up to the top. So that's what you should have going on if you're doing the island thing. Alright. And my character's drowning. Alright, awesome. So that's what you should have. Now, I notice I don't hear any sound. Or music. So let's figure out what's going on with that sound level. Let's see. So if we go to our windows, we go to our levels, let's go ahead and open up that sound level. And let me go ahead, and it's under no streaming distance. Let's see what's going on here. So if we open that up, and let me go ahead and view in current level only, we should see their sound level. We should see a bounding box. So let's take a look at that bounds box. It's stretched out still accordingly. But the weird part is our sound's not functioning after we did that. And that's really bizarre. And I'm doing exactly what Funcom did, and we assigned it a no streaming distance. So we should be getting some audio, we should be getting sound, and everything's still set up. We haven't changed nothing on that, but except we moved the streaming distance from here to a no streaming, so it's not supposed to stream at all. So let's see here really quickly. So no stream distance, that's falling under the no stream. So technically it should just work, and it's not. So what we can do then is let's go ahead and let's take that level and let's assign it back to the 75K. Let's save it. I don't know why it's not working, but let's go ahead and see if we have our sound here real quick and make sure. Get our music and our wind and all that back again. So that could be the issue. So we'll give it a shot here. Yep. So I would go ahead and I don't know what's going on with that, why it's not working. So like I said, I went in depth to study that, and I thought I had found the fix, but it looks like we haven't. Alright, so we're kind of learning as we go along here how touchy the engine is, and for some reason we have to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and do that with that sound level. Just go ahead and assign it back to the 75K stream. Our barrels will stretch out our bounds level and allow our audio volume to play. Okay, and let me see here real quickly. All right, we got that set up. We fixed that. All right, sorry about that, guys. I thought I had found the fix and everything would be working. So we'll go ahead and we'll continue to do with what we're doing, is using the little the barrels, sorry, and stretching it to the corners of the world. And stretching up to the top. That way we get our audio volume and streaming in. That's got me baffled. It shouldn't have no stream distance, so it should be like the persistent level where it allows us to expand it and play around the world, but apparently it's not. Very strange, very bizarre. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get back to our island over here really quickly. And let's see, we're at 14 minutes. All right, so I just want to go over here and look at something real quick. All right, so far so good. Everything is functioning so far to the tutorial, so hopefully you guys have been learning some things and we've been moving along. Okay, so now the one thing that we don't have, and quickly, I'm going to go ahead and hit play one more time here, is the caustics, and I'll show you what I mean. We're not seeing the water reflections, and so we're going to probably either have to set that up manually, or hopefully we'll be able to copy it from the Conan sandbox. Now if you look, you're not seeing any sun ripples or anything like that. Okay, And also, there's one other thing I want to do too. I just remembered. Now, with that sound volume, okay, what we want to do is with that sound volume selected, right, our jungle sound volume with our sound level open, I just thought of this too. Notice how it stretches and goes below our world, right? Kind of goes below the world. What we want to do is try to bring it up to water level. So if we go to perspective and we go from the front, let's just say, and we have that highlighted, what we want to do is we want to bring that sound volume up, and we can actually kind of shrink that volume down to, we don't need it super large in the air. So I'm just going to shrink it down a bit. But what I'm going to do too is I'm going to try to bring it down to water level. All right, zoom in carefully and making sure we see our transforms. And I'm going to try to get that volume to meet our water level. And I think that's where the water level is. I want to double check. Approximately. Pretty close. It's just a little bit slightly off. Let's go ahead and hit save. And let's go back down to perspective and let's fly over here. And I'm also going to shrink that volume down a little bit too. It doesn't have to be that large, I don't think. It'll keep it kind of under control. But let's go ahead and hit play here again. I'm just right off here. Because what we want to do is bring that audio level up. Because what I'm trying to do is I don't want to hear birds and stuff while I'm underwater. I just want to hear underwater. So by adjusting that volume, we can bring it up so when our player is walking around, we hear our wind, we hear birds. Now let's go to the water. And let's hit here. So hopefully now, I'm hoping it does it. Let's see if that cuts out. I don't think it's cutting out. It might be a priority where it might be a priority right over what we have to do. Well. Okay. For some odd reason, that's playing through the world still. And I thought I raised it high enough, but it looks like it's high enough. But technically, when you leave the sound volume, the audio volume, you should have the sound cut off. Now, it's a priority volume 1, and by going into the water, I'm not sure what the water volume is set to because that uses physics and post-process and all that. So it doesn't have an actual audio volume itself. I think it's the way the blueprint's designed, so we might not be able to shut it off, which is kind of confusing considering. Yeah, that is a little bizarre, so we might not be able to get rid of that. So I was trying to get it more immersive. But what you can do, we can go ahead and still continue to adjust this sound volume. So I'm going to go from the top down really quickly. And I'm going to try to adjust the size of this volume. And we can just kind of use our transforms and shrink it. But I'm going to go ahead and try 2000 in our scale. And we'll go 2000 on the Y. Okay, that's small. So let's go 3000. Oh, let's go 4500. And we'll go 4500. There we go. So we can kind of shrink down our sound volume so it's not that super huge. It doesn't have to be that big. We have it there. And also, really quickly too, my thought about that too, if you do build some dungeons under the world, that'll keep that sound volume from affecting your dungeons as well. Okay, so just a thought. Yeah, it's really bizarre, but we sign up priorities, and technically if we have a dungeon with a sound volume in here inside that volume, and it has a volume of 2, a priority of 2, sorry, over here, the priorities, that will override that sound volume. But what I don't understand is why the water volume, I thought that was set up to where it would do that, but apparently it doesn't. So I'll have to do some studying on that too, guys. So I do apologize for that, so I don't mean to waste any time there. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go to our content folder. All right, and excuse me, and let's go to the Conan maps and let's go ahead and open up the Conan sandbox. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy that water caustics, and I'm going to go ahead and save those levels, my levels there that I had open really quickly. And we'll get this kind of working. So let me see here real quick. And waiting for it to open. Okay, open. All right, sorry guys, 1 second. Okay, so we got our sandbox open. Let's go to World Outliner, and what we need to do is type SCENE, scene, and you should see a water capture scene component. All right, it should have a little camera on it and a box. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and we want to copy that. So we're going to right click, hit edit, hit copy, and let's go ahead and go to our content folder. Let's go ahead and open up our persistent level. And let's open up our persistent. Don't save the Conan sandbox. And let's go ahead and we're going to paste this. So just right click, hit edit, paste. All right, and that scene capture component, if we double click on it, it's going to take us, okay, where it is in the Conan world. And I think what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to give us the ripples. If you look at the flow texture, these are the ripples that we should be seeing, all right? And for all the fluid mask, and all this should be set up and enabled. And it looks good. So let's go ahead and let's hit save. And then we can go ahead, I'm going to go ahead to where my map has been worked on 1-1. So that way you can see the landmass and view in current level only. I'm going to turn that off. Clear my scene up here. I'm going to jump over to one of my spawners. Make sure this is faster. So let me just go to the player spawners. Boom. All right, that's a lot easier. All right, so let me go ahead and hit play from here. And let's make sure our water caustics is actually functioning. Hopefully this does the trick and what it's supposed to do. Otherwise, we might have to try to figure out how to get this to work. So hopefully it should do the trick. Usually it's automatic, I would think, but I don't know. Let's see. Well, I am not getting luck on that. That is bizarre. Okay, we should be getting the reflective caustics. That is really weird. Okay. Shift, escape. Sometimes the fun of okay, our scene component. Let me go ahead and let's reset the location. So if you look at the transform on it and you picked it up, actually, you know what? Let's see. Let's yeah, on the transform where it says location, go ahead and hit reset on that. That should take us technically to the center of the world. Let's try that and see if that might be the problem. So really quickly, let's go ahead and let's hit play again. And we'll check the water out. Oops, I shouldn't have played that close to land because now I'm going to run down to the water. And like I said, there's some of these weird things we'll run into. As you noticed, the dev kit's funny and strange. It does weird stuff. Okay, I'm not seeing our caustics in our reflection of the water. That is a little bit bizarre. Okay. Now, I'm wondering, I'm hoping it's not the material on the static mesh. What we can do, we can check out the material. Let's see. So the static mesh, let me go Shift G real quick. I'm going to deselect our static mesh. Control G again to keep our stuff together, our water and physics. And let's just click on the water. Okay, now I see this one, 4-way pan expensive oasis. I'm going to search to the water. And I'm going to quickly see if we can go. Now expensive is going to be costly as far as water. Now that means rendering and stuff like that. That's why they call it expensive, because it taxes your GPU a little bit. The closest color I noticed here is this is Lagoon. This expensive too. But what I want to check is just to see if that might let the shaders render and change it. Okay, let's see if that has an effect on the sound, but also let's see if it has effect on the caustics. If not, what I might have to do is figure out why the caustics is not firing off. And we're running out here. Got our sound. Alright. Caustic's still not firing. That sunlight reflecting through the wave action is not working. Okay, bizarre. And on my Empire's Digimap, it works just fine. So that is weird. So we might need to set something else up to get that caustics working. So what we'll do is we'll work on that. But what I could do, we got 5 minutes left for this video. I feel like we really haven't accomplished anything because of that. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and figure out the next big part of this thing. Let me see. Let me regroup our static mesh. All right. Make sure that's all good to go and is connected. All right. And let's see here. Quickly, let me look at some notes here. We got the paper doll thing we worked on. The sound blueprint thing did not work as we wanted it to, and our caustics is becoming an issue right now. So this is what you might run into, is these weird dev kit quirks that we got to figure out. You know, why is this not working? And I really don't want to spend too much time on the tutorial trying to work out a bug problem. We're at 27 minutes. So quickly, what can I do to add a little bit more to this tutorial, because it is kind of a bummer that we're running into these technical issues, and they create kind of a bit of a hurdle as far as that's concerned. Trying to think of what is one of the other parts we can do to get this kind of working. At the moment, I can't think of anything really, which is really bad right now. Because I'm really wanting to get this caustics thing working. So what we'll do is on the next tutorial, we'll cover the caustics, okay, guys? And this is kind of a video, I guess, to show you how the technical issues where you could spend 30 minutes trying to get some things working, try to move and adjust some things, and things aren't working properly. You know what we could do, though? I got an idea. What I should do, I did do a tutorial on sound, but quickly what I'll do is I'll take the sound audio volume, Windows levels, and quickly let's take the sound Barachin. I'm going to open up that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do view and current level only. I'm going to take that audio volume, right, and control, copy, control V, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink its scale down, all right, and bring it over here. And what I want to show you is the priorities, because I was telling you about priorities, right? And let's go ahead and do this really quickly so you understand what I was talking about since I brought it up. So bringing this volume over here, okay, we got it. And I'm going to go ahead and scale this up a little bit, stretch it. All right. All right, so there it is. There's the sound volume. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to assign this a priority of 2. All right, so if you go onto the volume, and I'm going to rename this, it's not going to be Jungle Main. We're just calling audio volume test. All right, just kind of teach you something real quickly, so that way you feel like you've learned something in this tutorial and it wasn't like a waste of time. I do apologize. I've never seen that scene capture thing for the water stuff not work. All right, so if we go to our content folder, go to content, and let's go up to the main content right up here on the left, and let's type sound stage. Okay, and if you open up the sound stage audio table, all right, you're going to see all the list of the different environment sounds, music, and ambience, and all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and let's take the ambience. Let me see. We got our audio volume test down here, environment jungle. Let's take the environment sound, the keep, all right? And what I want to do is take this text right here in the row name, all right? And we're going to paste that down here in the jungle beach, delete, Control V, all right? And then what we're also going to do is take the music. So if we look for the music, let's take the keep music. I think there is a keep music. No, let's do the Frost Cave. So we'll take the Frost Cave music, right? Copy, Control Z. I didn't mean to do that. And let's go down here. Remove that, clear that, Control V, paste it in there. So we have the music down here with the environmental keep, okay? Now, when we hit play, we're going to hit play right here in front of our audio volume. And what should happen is you're going to hear the jungle birds, the jungle music, but when we walk into this volume and we stand in it, and hopefully I walked into it. Okay, let's do this. For some reason I don't feel like I walked into it, or it's being a little bit facetious. And to help myself navigate that, I know where it's at, I'm going to just grab Control Copy Set of Barrels, edit, paste here. All right, and now it's got a priority of 2 on it, and I assign a priority of 2. Oh, sorry guys, one other dumb thing that Snow just overlooked. Make sure you enable it so that way the sound volume is enabled and you got the priority at 2. Sorry about that. Now if we hit play here next to our barrels, quickly, Snow's going over on his video time, but we had some critical errors. All right, if we go into here, now you hear the ice cave environment, and then we'll wait and we should hear the ice cave music. So that's kind of how that works. So just to quickly give you guys that idea, what I was trying to do with the water was move our birds and our wind sound up above the water, so we just hear the water and we wouldn't hear the birds in the water. But so this is how you can move sounds and make sounds go throughout your dungeons, the music, etc. by using those sound volumes. Okay. And then if we move out of it, it should fade us back into our birds and wind, if I remember correctly. There we go. And now, right now we're having that music go on, which is really bizarre, but it should hopefully cut out. It might have to finish playing, I'm not sure. That is a little bizarre, I've never had that actually happen before. Usually that stuff cuts off and you don't have issues. But it's the dev kit. There it goes. It finally cut off, so there was a bit of a long delay on it. So there you go. So that's what it's supposed to do. And then now you hear our beach music starting to play. Okay. So we heard the little drone. And there's our music. Okay. So there you have it. So that's what should happen. So like I said, we'll go back into this volume quickly again and give you quickly the idea again. So it should fade in. It should start changing over here. There you go. There you have it. Okay, so hopefully this tutorial, sorry guys, like I said, we were having some errors, so as soon as I figure out the caustics issue, we'll probably try to cover that in the next video, so to get the caustics actually functioning properly. That way we have our sun reflection in the water. Let me get out of that area. Let me kill that, and let me go back to my live camera. So I do apologize on that. I did not expect our scene capture not to work for a water caustic, so we'll get that working. The sound thing, I copied exactly what Funcom did. I was really studying their stuff, and apparently it's not working on our map. I don't know if it needs a reboot, so I'm going to reboot my dev kit, and hopefully that will maybe correct that. I'm going to try it one more time and see, but that's really strange. So, all right, guys and gals, well, thanks for joining me on this tutorial, and in video 10, hopefully we'll have the caustics thing working and functioned and properly, and I'll show you how to do that, hopefully. If not, I'm going to be troubleshooting for a little bit to get that working, or what will happen is I'll have to move on to something else, and we'll come back to the water caustics in another video to get that functioning. So I do apologize that this video is kind of not a whole lot of learning there, but hopefully you got an idea of how some of these technical issues will arise, and you'll have to figure out what to do next on the workflow. So, all right, without further ado, thank you guys. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for all your support. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye.
Battery 50%.